Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name is Lumin and today we're having a look at Blue Protocol Star Resonance. Begin your MMORPG adventure in an anime-styled fantasy world. Share the fun with your squad, discover secrets, challenges, and breathtaking wonders at every turn. Team up to conquer bosses and claim rare loot that'll make your guild a legend. Then, finally, make your own hero with full customization and stunning outfits, which is obviously why we are here. This game has had a pretty weird and tumultuous time in development that I won't be touching on here, but I will just say that it's not the first iteration of it. I did have a look at what came before, and honestly I was quite impressed by the character creation and customization system. But hey, here we are. Round 2, I suppose? I'm not sure, it might actually be more than 2. At this point, you guys can fill me in if you know more by leaving a comment, but if you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover, you can find some links below. There'll also be timestamps down there, so you can find what you're looking for and leave satisfied. And finally, you'll find my links as well, my Ko-fi page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. In this video, we're having a look at all the character creation goodies, everything the system has on offer, and all the classes that we get to choose from. Probably a lot more stuff as well. Alright, we're jumping in and starting over here with the body types. We're going to cover all of them, and then we'll move on to the individual stuff. There's actually quite a lot here, and I want to point out, as I start and show you what's available for the female body type, that's body type 1, I will say that you can take all of this further. Now, the options on each of them are the same. So if you jump on body type 1, you'll have all the same options as body type 2 and 3. I'm not sure on one point, with the males specifically, I'm not sure if there's facial hair or anything like that, a difference between the body type 1, 2, and 3 for that stuff. But essentially, you're picking a younger looking body here or a smaller looking body here versus a bigger one. However, you can still modify the body itself quite a lot by moving a few sliders around, making it bigger, smaller, fatter, thinner, shorter, taller. You know what I'm saying? So basically, this is not all of it. You're just picking your starting point. However, you cannot take this body all the way up to this body. Like, there are some differences here, I think. And that's just a choice you're going to want to make here. But that's essentially what's on offer. You got body type 1, 2, and 3 for the females. Then you got 1, 2, and 3 for the males. It's like a pre-teeny kind of thing. And then you got like a late teens, early 20s kind of thing. I don't know. Or maybe that's the teenage one. I'm old now, okay, so I can't really tell anymore. Maybe that's the teenage one. And then you got the old man one, like, you know, the grown-up one. It's the same over here. Same thing, you know. It's like a maturity level thing. And because of that, we're going to go with like body type 2 for customization. So that's the body types. There you go. And as we jump in here now, and before I start on the entire thing that we have here, I'm just going to say that there are some features that you can use while you are customizing. You have a preview section over here where you can have a look at your character in a bunch of different outfits, and you can really like dress it up. There's quite a lot for it here, and I'm going to show that to you quickly. I'll show you the male one and the female one because it's part of the features. There's a bunch of outfits, like I said, some of them more interesting than others, and then you can, like, you know, take screenshots or I want to say catalog this for later use, because one of the features that I will get to in just a moment is that you can actually save your character and export it for later use. I like that. I like that they give you that option, and some of these outfits I personally really enjoy. Then you can also dye your outfits, and there's just a lot of flexibility where that's concerned. I'm not going to get into it right now. Then you can do individual bits and pieces. So if you didn't want to do that like full outfit like we had there, you can take different bits and pieces here and you can combine them to make whatever it is you desire. So there you go. There's a lot of cool stuff. Finally, this. It's like cosmetic stuff. And I mean, they went, I wouldn't say like overboard with it, but they went pretty hard on the cosmetics. And I think that's a fantastic thing. You need kind of, you need fun stuff. You need cool stuff. You need stuff that will appeal to everyone. And when you can just throw a bunch of cosmetics at the game, especially if players can get it for free, it will make more people feel at home. No matter what. Okay, I realize that there's a small, like and it really is a minority of players that get like put off completely, disgusted by the idea of having cool cosmetics and cat ears in their game. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, those people hopefully wouldn't have clicked on this video in the first place. So, for the female body type, you got stuff like that. For the male body type, let me just show you what that looks like, because it's slightly different. There's some different outfits here. You will notice that a lot of them are the same. It's sort of like, you know, they take the same outfit, they just make it for the male body or for the female body, but it's not all the same. And I mean, I like it. I really just, I like it. They've got cool stuff here. And they've basically covered, I would say, all the bases that they can cover with a lot of this stuff, where they have essentially medieval style stuff, adventurous stuff, sci-fi stuff, mythical sort of angelic and demonic kind of stuff. And yeah, man, they've even got like the furry stuff here, and it's cool. It's cool. They are being as inclusive as possible with all of this. As I mentioned, the cosmetic stuff, it would seem to me that this is also a little different. I mean, at least you got the doggies on the head on both of them, but it's not much different. So there you go. Decent selection of stuff that you can use in the preview there, and with it being the preview, that does mean that you can obviously find this in-game and use it. So know that. Now, we're still busy with the system features. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm so sorry. It's still going. Over here, you can change the view, right? So you've got like this sort of look at how the character looks in different poses or whatever, and that's kind of cool. And then you can hide the clothes over here. So same thing. And then you can do different poses for your character to show them off in, well, whichever way you like, right? There you go. Okay. Finally, before we move on, you can import characters with QR codes, and you can share your character over here. And this is a whole nother thing where you get to take a sort of professional photograph over here. You can move it around. You can do all these different actions with your character, right? You can decorate. You can, there's stuff. Okay, this is stuff. There's just stuff. But that brings us to the end of the goodies that you can do in character creation. Now let's look at the actual character creation and customization. This is the meat of the video starting right now. So for the female characters, we have a lot of really, really cool presets. Same on male, and I'm going to say it here. It's enough. It's just enough. I'm going to show you the presets now. Then we're going to do customization. Then we're going to randomize. I'm not sure how good the randomize is, I'll be honest. I didn't really even try it. But I will just tell you that the presets are enough. You've got basically all you need in here, and it gives you a good look at what's possible. Now, I'm going to leave it on this because I do feel like it's better than looking at this one over here, just because you get a nice look at some different versions of the character, you know, in motion, in action. I just like the display overall. So we'll go through this here, and you'll be able to see some of the options that are available. You'll notice that it's mostly things like hair and eyes. There's not a huge amount you can change on the face, but you do have a few options on the body that can move around. We'll get to that when we get to that. It is just really nice, like the styles that they have and the amount of customization they have. And I remember all of this, by the way, from when I did Blue Protocol before. It was not Blue Protocol Star Resonance, it was just Blue Protocol. I had a look at that before, and I remember being sort of really wowed by the hair customization and the eyes specifically. I thought it was incredibly well done. So if you look at that there, and I can show you very briefly what I meant by it's not really worth looking at this either. It's sort of like, you know, it just moves the body up and down a little bit. There's some options, but it's not that much. And again, if I go back here and I select, as an example, this body type, they have a full different selection over here. They're not that different. Again, the presets on the one more than enough to show you like what's possible. You'll notice that it's sort of like the same characters but with different colors, essentially. There's actually a scar on that one. How dare they? There you go. And then finally body type 3. This is sort of the mature body type here. Again, sort of very similar, and they tend to sort of follow a pattern with this, as far as I can tell, where they have like, you know, they have one of each of the hairstyles essentially that they want to show off, but there are more of these at least, so there you go. But very nice characters. I dig what they've done. And that's it. We're going to go back into body type 2 and we'll look at the customization. So as I mentioned, there's randomization. This is going to be done at the end. So we're going to look at the customization options first, then we'll randomize. Just use the timestamps, all right? Just use the timestamps, okay? Now, the hair system that they have here is actually, I would go as far as to say, apart from the presentation, it's my favorite part of this entire thing, because they have modular hair. So you get to pick a style over here as like a starting point. And I'm going to go through it pretty quick because there's a lot of options to get through here. You get to pick a style as a starting point, and then you get to work with that style and do a bunch of different stuff with that style that can make it a essentially completely different style. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. I should probably be doing different colors so that you can sort of see where the different spaces are for the colors, but let me rather get to this is what I want to show you. So you pick a hairstyle, then you get to change the front, the back, and the crown, and I really like how they've put this together. So you've got the same hairstyle, now you are changing the fringe, okay? You customizing it to your liking. And you can sort of pick the one that you think works best for you. I like that one. I like the straight fringe at the front. Then we go the back. Okay, then it keeps the front fringe the way I chose it. But now we modify in the back and we pick in what we want over there. Modular, see? I like the flared out shorter one. Then we go to the crown and we get to pick the final detail. Now, if that wasn't enough, you get to actually customize these as well. I personally don't like any of them, but that's just for this hairstyle. Know that there's more. For the colors, you get to pick a color, right? So you go for the one you want, and there's a lot, by the way. You can really go full RGB with this. Then you can do a gradient, okay? The gradient is, it's a little more difficult. Essentially, you choose a color. Let's take black, okay? Then you can pull the gradient from the bottom all the way to the top. I say it's more difficult because I found it relatively hard to make nice combos here, but it's mostly just because I'm not very creative. To match that, I like the white and the sort of strawberry pinky kind of thing, you know? Then you can also do highlights. So the highlights, they're different for every hair color, but they are brighter. So as you can see with the gradients, it's the same now. We've got white and white, but the highlights tend to just be quite a lot lighter. You do the same thing. You put what you want in there. Boom, boom, boom. It has a lot of possibilities. Like, there's just so much you can do with this hair system. Because again, with all the different hairstyles, all of them have their own custom versions that you can use. For the most part, you'll find these same ones in the crown. The back will change a lot, and the front will change even more. But I like it. I think it's incredibly smart to do hair like this, and it is again one of the parts of this system that to me stands out the most, you know, as innovative, as creative, and as interesting. Right, so with that said, let's move on. That's the hair stuff done. We're moving on to the face now. For the face options, you have 3 choices basically, and it's essentially just like a normal face, a slightly wider face, and then a slightly thinner face. That's it. That's basically it. Then you get to move the chin down and up. Eyebrows, not a huge amount of options here. You can tilt them a little bit, give some emotion to the face, and you can change the color. Not going to mess with the color right now because you can do full RGB, but it sort of matches what we have already. Then the eyes. I like the eyes quite a bit. The last time I looked at this, I hope that they are much the same right now. You get to pick your overall eye style here, which I feel is more about personality. So you'll see what I mean in just a moment. You get to pick that here. I'm going to choose the big one so we have a bit more real estate to work with. You get to do a little bit with the positioning. It's not a huge amount, right? But it's enough to make it a little different from the original. And then eyelashes. The big customization comes from the pupil. You'll see in just a moment. Eyelashes, I feel slightly less important, but you can again sort of add a little splash of extra personality with these. A little bit, right? A little bit. And you get to change the color, which is a little weird and jarring. I don't know. I wouldn't make it anything other than black personally. Then the pupil. There's quite a lot here. I do wish we could zoom in more when we're doing this, but there's quite a lot here, and I like it. You can do heterochromia, and you can do layered coloring. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. I'm just going to go through some of these designs. It's a little, hold on, it's a little hard to see. I want to actually see if I can just put like some different colors, like a white. Yeah, there we go. A white at the back should be more than enough, right? So let's put like a black on there, a lighter blue over there, and like an even like that. Just go like that. There you go. So you can see sort of some of the differences in these eyes. I don't think that's the greatest for showing it off nicely, but it'll have to do for now. Yeah, see, that looks kind of terrible. Just look at the pictures up here. All right. What can I say? I'm not very good at this, despite everything. Yeah, this should actually be black. The last one, or is it the first one? There we go. That should be black, and that should be white. That looks better. Still looks terrible, but it looks better. So there's a lot of different designs. Again, I do wish I could zoom in a little bit more. And with these designs, I feel you could probably create something relatively interesting, relatively unique, relatively fun. It does come down to personal preference. I mean, a lot of people will probably just jump in, skip through this, and just pick something quick on a whim. But other people, like me, will more than likely spend a lot of time here and try and make something really interesting. And, well, you know, it's good. Give people what they want, you know. For the colors and stuff, you have 4 different layers that you can choose from. If we take every one of them and make them like radically different, then you can sort of see where they are, how they work. And you can again see some slightly more interesting combos that way. But it's something you're going to have to fiddle around with. Right? It's something you're going to have to really spend some time on. The nose options are quite limited. You can pick 3 different noses here, and you can move the position up and down, and that's basically it. The mouth, it's like bigger and smaller, and then the teeth. It's quite a nice option, actually. You can choose some sharp toofies, some side toofers, and some other stuff. I like the sharp ones, honestly. Quite cool. Yeah. Then, moving on. We've got the eyeshadow over here. It's basically the start of the makeup section. You can do good stuff with this to just embolden what you've already got. You know, there's stuff here that can just enhance the style that you're going for. And I think that's a good way of handling makeup in a game. You don't want it to be too much or too overwhelming. And this, to be honest, is that. I like this for that. Once again, full RGB that you can go with here. And you can do some cool stuff. There's lip gloss. You get to pick a color over here. And you get to do tone and saturation. Doesn't really, you can't see much of it. I'll take the red one again because it matches what we're going for. Then there's marking 1. Not a huge amount of markings to choose from, but there's some stuff. This is 3 different blushes here. Or is it 4 different blushes? Then there's freckles. Harder to see on the skin tone that we have here. But, you know, see it, you can. Some scars. And you can change the markings here, the colors. On some of them they present you with this, but on others you have the selection. And obviously on some of these you can move it around, and you can make the size bigger and smaller, and you can even rotate it. It's pretty cool. It's a good selection of markings. Again though, it's sort of going to help you just put together, solidify the style, you know? And it's nice. No complaints here. I think that the markings are decent. They are. I'll take the freckles for now. And you get to do 2 different markings. I don't know if you can do the same. Yeah, you can do the same. And then it just sort of layers it on top. It's cool, I guess. We'll do freckles and 1 little scar. Right? Then, you have your body options. I'm not sure why they put the body options all the way at the end. I would have put that at the start before the hair. But hey, here it is. For the skin, you have this very limited selection of skin tones. But it doesn't really end there. You pick the one and then you can actually make the tone brighter or darker. It's alright, you know. The skin tones I feel are a little janky because I don't know what it is about the models, but it's a little harder sometimes to make the darker one. Like you have to start with this, so you must jump to the end, do the skin tone dark, and then go with it from there. That's the way I look at it. I'm not entirely certain what no skin tone or no skin means, but it's an option there as well. There you go. Yeah. Then your body. We can sort of remove the clothes, and you can see a little better. Get to do the height. Doesn't change all that much. The arm size, again, doesn't change all that much. The chest size doesn't even move that much either. The waist, hips. It's very tame. You know, they definitely did not want you to do much here. I feel like of all of it, the calves probably move the most, right? And there you go. That's the end of the customization options. Now we're going to go back over here, and I'm going to click on randomize. Let's just click on don't show again. I'll show you a few of the different things that they can come up with. I had a look at the randomize very briefly before. I wasn't entirely certain how I felt about it, but I think now looking at it once more, I will just say it's not so much the randomization that's a little reserved. It's more the character creation and customization in general that's quite reserved, where they have some really nice styles, and you can make some cool looking characters here. But I would say reserved is the word I would go for. You can't really do anything unhinged. You can't do anything like crazy or nuts with it, which I don't think is a bad thing. You know, if they want a world to feel cohesive and immersive, and if they want it to be well, if they want it to be something other than a actual clown fiesta, it's like sometimes it's the right thing to do to limit players a little bit. But I mean, on the flip side of that, it's one of the things that I always say is just that more options are usually better. You know, I'm a fan of more options. I'm a fan of them being generous with options. So it's sort of it's a tough position to nail down, right? But that's the randomize. There you go. There's some interesting options that you can get here, and I think that again the presets are probably more than enough, right? We're gonna jump back now. We're gonna go in on the males quickly, and the male customization is probably gonna be a little shorter than the female one. I will, however, start on body type 1 over here, the first one, and I'll just show you quickly what the presets look like. So here you go. I felt, and I don't often feel like this, but I felt like the male presets that they made, not so much just the characters, but like the presets were cooler than the female ones. I don't know. It might just be me, and like maybe it's just the colors that appeal to me more, or like some of the styles that they threw together here that appeal to me more. But I was more enthused by these than I was by the female ones. The female ones were good, and I said it's more than enough. But like in my opinion, they had some more unique and interesting designs here. You know, that's how I felt about it. Cool though. There's body type 2. These are the presets for body type 2. These ones are slightly more, not simple, but down to earthy. Realistic in nature, I suppose. Although there's some interesting stuff here as well. And I mean, this whole thing isn't really all that grounded in reality. It's very anime. But obviously they don't let you push it too much. I like the presets though. And I mentioned on the female side of things that if you are looking to play this, and there are some beards, I was hoping for that. If you're looking to play this and you don't really want to, you know, fret, hum and hum over options and stuff like that, you should actually just be able to jump in and find something for yourself here, you know? You should be able to. There is quite a lot going on here, and with the presets alone, you should be able to find something cool that'll work for you. Now, because there are beards on this, I think we're going to jump in on body type 3 for male. I think that might just be a little bit more appealing to most people. We'll go with this guy right here. There's no beards for the ladies, so we didn't really, you know, care over there. But let's do it. That's it for the presets. I'm going to randomize at the end if you want to see it. Now we're going to jump onto the hair. I mentioned many times already, I kind of like the hair system in this. I mentioned it before when I looked at Blue Protocol, the original, the previous iteration. You can pick hairstyles. There are hairstyles, right? And they are quite interesting all by themselves. There are some decent ones here to pick from. But if that isn't working for you, you can actually do some custom stuff with your hair, and we'll get to that in just a moment. It annoys me greatly that when I scroll down here, it zooms out over here. Oh my god. The small things, man. It's the small things that wear you down. Hairstyles are good though. They have more than you would need in terms of the selection. You know, they've got all the different ethnicities basically covered. There's no proper afro, but I mean, like, the game itself perhaps doesn't lend itself to that style. I don't know. That's a very weak argument, to be honest. They've got the dreads and the like braids and stuff, so maybe they should have an afro in here. Anyway, if you pick a hairstyle here and you go with it, good for you. But you can also do custom. So you pick a hairstyle, then you can come and you can customize the front all by itself. That's like well, in this case you will see it almost feels like the entire hairstyle, but it's the front section with your fringe and stuff like that. You pick the one that you like here, whichever one works for you. I'm going to take one that doesn't cover the face. So I will take the shorter one, let's say that one. Then you can go around to the back. And then you can actually customize the back, which again customizes a large part of this. On the front, we've just got this little piece of hair right now. But you get to choose what you want at the back, which is nice. And they don't go all that long with it. We'll take that one. It's the longest we can go. And then you can do the crown, which gives you a little extra on top. This is exactly the same on the male and female side of things. I don't think it looks all that good. I like this little one, you know, or that little one. It just shows that you've got like a slight rebellious streak. But I'm not a huge fan of it, of just the little piece on top. This hairstyle, I mean, I don't know. What do we think about it? I'm not feeling very much positive here. Let's rather take that. That looks better to me. Then we get to change the color. So it's basically full RGB, but the colors do look a little less intense here. That's just because of the engine and the lighting that they use here. But you can go anywhere you like with it. And if we go black, as an example, over here, then we can also add a gradient to it. I use the black because it's a good way of showing by example. Let's take black and white. You pull the gradient up and it covers the hair. You pull it back down and yeah, well, that's how gradients work. I'm going to go for, let's do a little black and green, and then let's look at the highlights. So this specific hairstyle only has 2. Some of them have more, but essentially the highlights allow you to throw another splash of color in there, whatever color you want. I'm going to go for green again, just because that's the style we're going with over there. And you can do number 2. Same thing. Let's throw green in. There you go. It's not bad, right? I think it looks pretty okay. It might not be for everyone, but there it is. I like the hair system. On the female side of things, there's more to do. There's generally just a little bit more in terms of the slots and stuff like that, but it's still more than enough on male. Okay, so good hair system. I like it. Yes. Moving on. The face. Get to pick from 3 different faces here. Essentially, it's a standard one, a larger one, and a thinner one. And then you can make the chin longer or shorter, and that's that. Eyebrows. Yeah, there you go. You can change the tilt on them. I like to bring it this way. Have our character look a little more concerned instead of stern, and you can change the color. That's it. Eyes. This is the overall eye shape that you go in with. All of these guys look really tired, honestly. I do like it, however, this one has good real estate, we'll take this. Then you get to change the position a little bit, if you'd like to, the tilt, and then the pupil size and shape. Far less real estate, however, than the females. You'll see in just a moment when we get to work on the pupil. Then there's eyelashes. Also, once again, wish I could zoom in further here, but yeah, not super impactful. And then the pupil. This is where you really wish you could zoom in more, because I can barely see anything over there. For the pupil, you can do heterochromia. You know, you can have left or right separate, and then you can do layered coloring. For layered coloring, it's kind of hard. I'll just be 100% straight with you. I struggled a little bit trying to show off all the different colors, especially on male, because you have so little that you can actually see there. So I'm going to just scroll through these. I recommend just looking over here where I'm clicking instead of looking at the character, because really there's so little that you can see. The eyes are so small, you know. They're so small. So like part of the system that I really like, which is the eyes, is just, I don't want to say useless on the male characters. It's only on some of them, because like the younger males have bigger eyes. They've still got that childlike wonder in their eyes. These guys not so much. It's all dead inside, you know. Let's go, speaking of dead inside, let's just go with like the heart or something to push that point home. There we go. Right. Cool stuff you can do with the colors though if you really mess around with it. On the nose, the male noses are a lot bigger than the female ones. and you can move the position around. The mouth. This is just the size of the mouth. It's once again sort of medium, small and large. Teeth. There you are. You can have a tooth on one side, tooth on the other side, tooth on both sides, or sharp teeth. We always go with sharp around here. And then finally, beard. There's really not so much to choose from with the beards, but what they do have does, in my opinion, look relatively good. I've now seen it through the presets already, and it looks nice. I would pick a beard. 100%. I'd take a beard. Match the hair, and you're good to go. Right? For this, you get to do eyeshadow here for the makeup as well. And the eyeshadow, you can do anything with it that you like, with colors and stuff like that. But honestly, I wouldn't say it's bad for a male character. I would probably go with like black if I was doing eyeshadow. And I'd do a subtle one on the males. Like this one makes it look, this is relatable, you know? It's like me. I'm just tired all the time. That's it. I'll go with that. Lip gloss, 3 different options here. And then some colors you can pick. Not going to pick that for our male. We can do the tone and the saturation as well. There you are. Then the markings. This is the same on both male and female. You actually get the blush on. Did it just put the lip gloss on again? Yeah, it did. You can actually put the blush on. You can put the freckles on, the scars on, the exact same stuff as on female. And there's some cool options here. There are some that are slightly less cool. Obviously, you can't really see these very well with the beard on, but you know what? Screw it. Because if you're playing a male character, more than likely you're taking a beard. There's some that are well known that I feel like, hey man, yeah, you see this in like every game or whatever. But then you have some that you can customize where you can actually move things around a little bit. You can change the size of them, and you can change the angle of them, and you can change the color of them. And that's great. But others are sort of locked in place, and you are getting what you get, and you're not getting upset. As an example, this one, you're going to want to move around. It's sort of like a plaster or something, you know? There's a little puppy paw. There you go. So, I believe you'll be able to find something good. Some of them, like I said, have color options and movement options and whatever, and then you can do 2 different ones, right? It's the same ones that I did on my female character. There you go. I like that. I mean, honestly, I kind of like the character that we made here. It's looking, again, very relatable. Our final options, the skin tone, the body options, and all the rest. These are, once again, a little different when you jump onto the smaller body type or the larger body type, you know. I'm going to go for like a pale one, but you can go all the way dark. There you go. You can do the height. Do the size. I'll take the clothes off for this. There you go. Size of the arms. I felt like the movement on the body was a little more on the male. A little more. Right? Not a lot, but a little. On females, some stuff didn't really move around all that much. It's the thighs. And then the calves. Yeah, maybe the calves still move around more on the females. But that's basically it. You do get some body options, but you don't get a lot. And that's our character. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomize. I'm going to show you what's possible. Show you what you can get here. I believe it's probably a good idea to also randomize on the other sizes of body, because there's, again, some slightly different stuff there. There's some stuff that gets omitted evidently from randomize. I'm not sure if that's the case. Let's just look. I'm going to say, like, it doesn't look like they're putting the facial hair on. I'm not seeing any facial hair. Yeah. Oh well. It's no biggie. You get the idea. You really get the idea. So, once you have chosen a character that you are happy with, I'm happy with this guy. I think he looks pretty cool. I like the sort of pastel-y colors that they went with here. Once you pick the character that you're happy with, we can move on to the next part. I'm happy with this one. Let us confirm and continue. So, here we are. Class selection. You get to pick your class, and as far as I understand, you get to pick the spec that you want to jump in on as well. So starting at the top here, and I'm just going to run through this very quickly. I'm not going to tell you which is the best class. I'm not going to give you like a full guide on how to play it or anything. I'm just showing you what's available, right? So we've got the Verdant Oracle. It's got the Smite spec and the Life Bind spec. The Verdant Oracle wields a nature ring, excelling in long-range healing, channels the verdant essence of the forest to deliver exceptional healing and buffs. They support. They use Intellect, Luck, and Mastery, 2-star difficulty. All the information is right here. The Smite spec is a style that specializes in Wild Bloom, dealing damage while providing a healing effect. Right. The Lifebind spec, same as the previous one, but it's a style that specializes in Life Bloom, sacrificing damage capability to provide stronger healing effects. So it's a more healery healer. Then we have the Heavy Guardian over here, and you can sort of see as I go through here a little bit how it plays. This is the Guardian that wields a Guard Blade, excelling in close range combat. Channel the power of stone to form protective shells, offering exceptional defense and control. Position is Guard, it's sort of like a tank. Strength, Mastery, and Versatility, difficulty 1. That'll change when we switch to the other spec. The Earth Fort spec specializes in Shield Bash. As the special attack, it uses a shield to absorb damage and grants a damage dealt bonus in shielded status. Effective in all scenarios requiring damage mitigation. The Block spec specializes in Counter Crush, enhancing block to steadily reduce attack damage received. It's pretty cool. So it's like a parry spec, I take it. Then we have the Marksman. This is a class that wields a bow, excelling in long-range combat, partners with animal companions to unleash wide area attacks. They are in the attack position, agility, haste, and mastery, and 2 out of 5 stars difficulty. That changes once again based on the spec that you pick. The Wild Pack spec uses Storm Arrow as the special attack, enhances the ability to fight alongside the Wild Wolf. Strive to maintain the Photon Regorge state to increase the DM frequency of Storm Arrow. Jeez, man. That's some gibberish right there. Accelerate the Wild Wolf's attacks, summon additional Wild Wolves, Phantom Wolves, and more. Then the Falconry spec is a spec that uses Double Arrow as their special attack. It enhances the ability to fight alongside the Falcon. Crits trigger coordinated attacks from the Falcon, focusing on increased crit frequency. That sounds pretty fun. Yeah. And as you can see again, like I said, the difficulty changes. Frost Mage wields a Frost Staff, excelling in long-range combat, command the power of ice to deliver wide area damage and formidable control. They are attack. They use Intel, Crit, and Luck. And this is actually 3 out of 5. This spec uses Frost Lance as their special attack, improves Frost Crystal acquisition. Frost Crystal allows the special attack to bypass casting time. Wow, that's a lot of... Jeez, dude, look at all of that. I'd go for that one, maybe. I want to go for the Marksman, but like that looks pretty cool too. Frost Beam spec is a spec that uses Frost Beam as a special attack. Stacks Frost Crystals to boost the damage of special attacks and consumes Frost Crystals to restore ice energy. There you are. The Shield Knight. It's another tanky spec. Sword and Shield, excelling in close range combat, wears radiant light forged armor, boasting exceptional defense and self-healing. It's a guard slot, strength, crit, and mastery, and 2 out of 5 over here. The Recovery spec uses Valor Bash as a special attack. It improves defenses through Valor Bash, maintaining light forged body to absorb half incoming damage. Cast in Judgment restores lost HP. And then we have the Shield spec here that focuses on using Vanguard Strike as their special attack. They use Vanguard Strike to get Holy Barrier. They increase max HP and provide special skill resources. Maintains Lightforged Body to absorb half the incoming damage. Cast in Judgment restores lost HP once again. This is actually 4 out of 5 difficulty, which is nuts. And we have the Winged Knight. The Winged Knight excels in close range combat, using a lance as a weapon, agile, fast, and possessing excellent small area attack capabilities. This guy's 5 out of 5 difficult. Attack, strength, haste, and mastery. The spec uses Gale Thrust as its special attack, increases courage accumulation, speed to unleash Gale Thrust more frequently by maintaining high stacks of sharpness, activating the core mechanic that consumes courage to reset cooldowns. Wow. It's a lot of like, you know, I don't know what the hell you're even saying because I haven't really played this game, but it does sound like it's got a pretty interesting system at least. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. The Skyward spec, it uses Skyfall as their special attack, boosts sharpness acquisition efficiency when using Skyfall. It enables more frequent use of Instant Edge, restores courage after Instant Edge, focuses on smooth transitions between 2 core skills. This is 4 out of 5 difficulty. Cool. Then we have the Stormblade. There you go. Wields Reaper Scythe, excelling in close range combat once again, switches seamlessly between Scythe and Longsword form, delivering precise area strikes. It looks really cool, obviously. It's an attack class, agility, crit, and mastery, and then difficulty is 4 out of 5. That's the, what is that? Is that Eido Slash? Accumulating Thunder Sigil to empower single high damaging strikes. Then we have Moon Strike spec that uses Moonstrike as a special attack, consuming 3 thunder sigils to unleash a special attack will link the Moonblade summoned by Scythe Wheel. Follow-ups with rapid attacks extend the Moonblade's duration and trigger various additional effects. That's pretty cool sounding, I guess. And our final one is the Soul Musician. There it is. They seem to have a guitar. And they have a pretty laggy video. I'm not sure why. It seems to be the video on this one character only. So the Soul Musician excels in long-range combat using a guitar as a weapon. Heals while attacking. Excels in granting allies buffs. Possesses excellent support capabilities. Cool. Yeah, it's a support class. Intellect, haste, and luck. 3 out of 5. This spec is Dissonance. A spec that utilizes Amplified Beat as its special attack. Heroic Melody enhances damage and healing conversion efficiency, while talents allow Rhapsody of Flame to double luck chance for frequent damage and healing output. Okay. And we have Concerto spec. A spec that uses Healing Blast as its special attack, emphasizes on coordinated performance between Healing Melody and Speaker. Alright, and that's the last of it. I don't really know which one I would pick here. There's just so much to go on. Once you have picked the one you like here, you just jump in and you are gaming. And that, my friends, is the end of this video. That brings us straight to the outro. I love the anime style. I love the models. Yeah, I think they look great. There's a lot of variety with them, and the outfits are pretty awesome, the ones that we saw. There's lots of color, it's very vibrant and full of life, and I dig that. You know, the style itself, it is quite simple and satisfying, but I still do enjoy it. I will say it would be cool if they gave us a little more flexibility with the customization, right? A little bit more. We don't need much, but a little bit more would be cool. Overall, though, it's nice, and the classes look like a lot of fun, and I think it's more than enough if the game itself could be good to support it. Because I think that's what it's going to come down here to, right? It's like it's going to come down to whether or not the game is good. If the game is good, then I'd say, yeah, man, the character creation and customization is probably more than enough to support that. But I'm going to leave that to you guys. I can't really weigh in on it myself. I haven't really played much of it, so if you guys can tell me about the gameplay, if you guys can tell me what you think about it, hey, maybe we can work together, collaborative effort, right? So, thanks for watching. Hey, yeah, it's kind of cool to have a look at this once again. Blue Protocol's back. Who'd have thought? I do hope this is the last time it comes back. I really hope it works out for them now. Yeah, there you go. It's definitely an improvement over what we saw a couple of years ago. That's for sure. Alright, guys, give this video a like, share it, and do all that other good stuff. Check back here soon for more, and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me what your favorite part is of this game. I've seen some gameplay videos, and honestly, I like a lot of what I've seen. I love the style, the mounts, the areas that you get to explore. Again, I just love how vibrant and full of life it is. But hey, yeah, let me know. Let me know. And while you're down there in the description of the video, leaving those comments and stuff like that, you can also check my links out, my coffee page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. Yeah. Happy that, dudes. Happy that.